In the 21st chapter of Exodus, we find a law pertaining to slavery. As we all know, slavery was almost universal in ancient times. When armies went to war and captives were taken in battle, the unfortunate prisoners were seldom returned to their homes. They were usually sold into slavery. The children born of slaves were considered the property of their masters, and the master could sell them into slavery if he wished. On the other hand, men born free could become slaves, even in time of peace, if they felt there was no hope for them as free men. If conditions were bad, in times of severe hunger and unemployment, not all men could withstand the burden of economic difficulty. If this happened, men would sell themselves into slavery in order to remain alive and to be provided for by their masters with the necessities of life. Among some of the peoples of ancient times, we find provision made in their constitutions for the slaves who are members of their own nation to be treated with special consideration by their masters. In the old Hebrew law, which we find in the book of Exodus, the lawgiver made special provisions to protect the unfortunate man who was forced to sell himself into slavery. And clauses were also included to make him a free man once again. One of the first provisions states that if a Hebrew sells himself into slavery, he shall be in bondage for 6 years. In the 7th year, he is to go free. The law then continues as follows. But if the slave shall say, I love my master, I will not go free, then his master shall take him to the court of law, which was the house of God in those days, and his master shall pierce his ear with an awl, and he shall be his slave forever. Bible scholars puzzled over this law. Why, they asked, was a man who did not wish to be freed from slavery so harshly treated? Was it not enough that he wanted to remain a slave? Did his slavery have to last forever? And to add injury to the insult, why did the law require his ear to be pierced as a mark of permanent slavery? One of our scholars gave the following interpretation. When the law was given by God to Israel and all mankind on Mount Sinai, he proclaimed to all men at the time that the 10 Commandments were given that by these laws they shall be free. And, he added, for the children of Israel are my servants. How, said the scholars, when the Lord gave the commandments, he intended them to free mankind of their slavery to all kind of superstition and unfounded beliefs. God intended to free mankind of slavery to other men. The children of Israel shall be my servants, said the Lord, and not the slaves of slaves. Since the ear of man heard this commandment and did not obey it, therefore shall the ear be pierced. Moreover, since a man did not have the spirit to remain free, but after being a slave for 6 years insisted on remaining a slave, then he does not possess the spirit of a free man. Therefore, let him be a slave forever. This lesson from our Bible is a very pointed one that has meaning for us even today, nearly 4,000 years after it was promulgated for the first time. A man who will not be free, a man who does not want his freedom, does not deserve to be free. In every age, there are those who would enslave others. There are those who want to enslave men or nations, and hardly a generation in history goes by without some of these men trying to enslave the world. Men have always struggled to remain free. Men have fought for their liberty. In every struggle for human freedom, people have said, we would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. Or, as one of the leaders of the American Revolution put it, give me liberty or give me death. Today there is a struggle for freedom going on. It is going on in the world at large. It is going on in this country. It is going on everywhere. At all times we must struggle to maintain our human dignity, to keep our freedom as befits free men. For we were born to be free.